You might be in a calorie deficit, but if you don't fix your sleep, you'll struggle to burn fat. And a recent sleep study proved this. They put two groups on the same calorie deficit. The only difference? One slept 8.5 hours, the other 5.5. Both lost about the same weight, but the group who got better sleep lost 55% more fat and 60% less muscle. So whether you want to lose fat, build muscle, or just live a healthier life, sleep can't just be an afterthought. It has to be your priority. The good news is you don't need to sleep longer. I know firsthand just how hard it is to get more than 7 hours, particularly for guys over 35 who are working long hours while raising kids. But that isn't the goal here. The goal is to improve the quality and the consistency of your sleep, because that's what supercharges your hormones, your energy, your mood, and your productivity. So in today's video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and give you the exact sleep protocol I give to the guys on my elite coaching program, and that I've been using myself for years, because I'm 38 in a couple of months and I've never felt better. My testosterone is at the top of the range and my physique has people asking me what steroids I'm taking on a weekly basis. Spoiler alert, the answer's none. I'll be sharing the tactical advice that you can start implementing today so that you sleep like a baby tonight and burn fat 24/7. And I'm going to be covering a lot. So I recommend you full screen the video, grab a pen and paper so you can take some notes, and lock in. Most people think that good sleep starts when your head hits the pillow, but in reality, your sleep protocol starts before you even open your eyes. You see, about 2 hours before you naturally wake, a part of your brain called your hypothalamus signals your adrenal glands to start releasing cortisol. This is called the cortisol awakening response, or CAR for short. And it isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's your body's way of preparing you to wake up alert and energized. Cortisol gets a bad reputation, but it isn't the villain. In fact, it's only a problem when it's released at the wrong time. Cortisol at the right time can be very beneficial for three main reasons. Number one is that it raises your blood sugar levels so that your brain has fuel. Number two is that it increases your blood pressure and your heart rate so that you have energy to get up and move. And then number three is that it suppresses your melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. So it helps you to feel awake. Think of it like your body's natural espresso shot before you even open your eyes. The problem is, if you're sleep deprived or under chronic stress or waking up at different times every single day, the system can go completely out of balance. And when that happens, you end up with elevated cortisol levels throughout the day. That's where you end up wired and tired in the evening, you know the feeling I'm talking about, and groggy and unmotivated in the morning because your cortisol awakening response, your CAR, has been blunted. And this all happens because your body is operating on a 24-hour clock called the circadian rhythm. This is an internal body clock, you've probably heard of it before, that controls pretty much everything from hormone release to digestion to energy and even mood. When you're going to bed and waking up at consistent times, the brain actually predicts when you're going to get up and perfectly times the release of that cortisol awakening response. And when that happens, you feel alert rather than groggy. But it doesn't just stop there. Your melatonin also starts to wind down and wind back up at the right time. So essentially, you're falling asleep when you want to fall asleep. And your sleep stages, whether that's deep, REM, or light, they all fall into this predictable pattern. And that doesn't just improve your recovery and your energy, but also your cognitive function. But if you're inconsistent, where you're staying up late at the weekends or waking up earlier on Sundays than you would the others, your body has no idea when to start this process. So that surge of cortisol might come on too early or peak too late. And that's what's going to leave you feeling groggy or foggy in the mornings, wired at night, and just generally out of sync. So the fix is simple, and it starts with your alarm clock. Pick one wake-up time and stick to it, even at the weekends. And that single habit is going to train your brain when to release that cortisol pulse. Your brain loves predictability. It's what drives us all to become the creatures of habit that we are. So give it that predictability. Sleep consistency isn't about getting enough hours, and it certainly isn't about getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning. It's about teaching your body when to wake up and when to recover. And over time, because you have to be patient with this stuff, it's going to stabilize your cortisol, improve your energy, and make fat loss, muscle growth, and mental clarity all a heck of a lot easier. And in fact, a healthy morning cortisol spike is one of the best health markers for a strong circadian rhythm and good metabolic health. By the way, this sleep protocol that I'm taking you through today is just one of the many that the guys on my elite coaching program get access to. Guys like Mark and James, who I'll put on the screen somewhere here. These guys are both in their 30s, or Ken or Scott, who are both in their 40s and 50s. And I'm working with these guys right now. And you can see the amazing transformations that they are getting on the coaching program. The point of me showing you these different guys is to prove that it works for anyone at any time, whatever stage you're at and wherever you are. And I'm not being funny. If I'm giving away this information for free, and trust me, there's a heck of a lot of good stuff to come, just imagine what you're going to get on my actual coaching program. So if you want to find out how it works and why it's so effective, just click the top link in the description. Anyway, speaking of your alarm clock, most guys, including me, use their phones as the alarm clock, right? That's fine when you set it up correctly, but 99% of guys are missing two crucial steps. You know how it goes. The alarm clock goes off, jolting you out of a peaceful sleep, eyes still half shut. You grab the phone, or maybe you just fumble it on the bedside table and find the snooze button. Maybe once, maybe twice. And then when you finally turn it on for good, you're bombarded by a stream of notifications, emails from your boss, social media notifications from your ex, and worst of all, wild headlines from the mainstream media. The next thing you know, you're scrolling through your phone for another 20 minutes. Between that first alarm and the time you finally get out of bed, about 45 minutes have passed. Not only is that one habit wasting your precious time, but it's stressing you out, messing with your hormones, and putting you in a negative frame of mind before you've even started the day. And as a result, most guys are starting their day hungry, horny, and pissed off. But again, there's a very simple fix. Firstly, tonight, when you go to plug your phone in to charge, make sure that it's far enough away that you have to get out of bed to turn the alarm off and completely turn the snooze function off. Now what you've done is raise the stakes, and you can't risk going back to bed in case you fall back asleep and end up 2 hours late for work. Second, sleep with your phone on airplane mode, and then keep it on airplane mode for the first 30 minutes of the day. Not do not disturb, full airplane mode. Make sure the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth are both turned off as well. What this does is it gives you back control and it gives you back time. Now you're starting your day calm, present, and relaxed, and with an extra 30 minutes in your morning. So now what you can do is implement a structured routine that's going to give you a warrior mindset, supercharge your energy levels, and set you up to conquer your day. This is the same morning routine that I've done for years, and it goes a little something like this. I have a 45-second cold shower. I hit the ground and do 50 push-ups. I drink half a liter of water with electrolytes. I make sure I've got protein and fiber in my breakfast. And then if I'm lucky, I'll get some natural sunlight. That part of the routine is only going to take me 15 minutes max. I will then also make sure that I prioritize movement at the beginning of the day, whether that's a workout. I work out 4 days a week, or just going out for a morning walk. And what I love about this morning routine is not only does it take less than 15 minutes to do, it's also simple, it doesn't cost anything, and it's very effective. Remember, the overall goal of any morning routine is to get you out of sleep state as fast as possible and get you into that active state. You don't have to copy what I'm doing, but I know the combination of the cold shower and the push-ups is going to get the body moving. It's going to get the blood pumping and the heart beating. The water with the electrolytes is going to rehydrate me. The protein and the fiber in my breakfast. And by the way, breakfast for me is 75 grams of bran flakes, 200 grams of Greek yogurt, and 10 grams of honey. That's going to fill me up. It's going to stabilize the blood sugar levels. And it's importantly going to give me the energy to get up and go. And then the movement, well, for me, it's all about doing the hard thing early in the day. Getting up, getting out, hitting the gym, lifting the weights, pushing myself. Not only does this mean that I've then got my evenings free to socialize or just chill out, it means I'm calm. It means I'm present. It means I'm relaxed. It means I'm in the best frame of mind to make the most logical and rational decisions as I go through my day. Contrast with the guy who doesn't do this or maybe works out in the evening. Not only is he going to be more emotionally charged as he goes through the day, but the disadvantage of working out at night is that it takes 2 to 3 hours for your heart rate to come back down to a resting level. So let's say you are working out after work at 7 p.m. You finish up at 8, you come home. That's actually then going to delay your last meal of the day, which we'll talk about in a minute. By the time your heart rate has come down to a resting level, it's midnight. Sure, you might go to bed at 10 or 11 p.m., but you're not getting that quality sleep. And remember, that's the goal here. And listen, I've heard every excuse in the book, whether it's kids, commute, I'm not a morning person, energy levels, whatever it might be. Guys, These are all bull. If, and it's a big if, this is your priority right now, you can easily go to bed a little bit earlier so you can wake up earlier to make time for this. Because this morning routine, or any morning routine, to be honest with you, it gives you structure, it sets the tone, and I think more important than anything, it sets your standard. It's a daily reminder, it's daily accountability to yourself of the type of guy that you are. Like I said earlier, you don't have to be getting up at 4 a.m. or even 5 a.m. I'm up at 6 a.m. every day. That gives me 30 minutes to walk you through the routine that I just showed you, 20 minutes to walk to the gym, an hour to work out, and 45 minutes to walk to the supermarket, pick up some food, and get myself home so I'm back at my desk by 9 a.m. ready to start my working day. So there you go. We've talked about how to improve your sleep consistency and the morning routine that's going to set up the rest of your day. Now, I want to run you through 3 daytime rules that you need to stick to if you want to sleep like a baby tonight. Number 1 is to have a caffeine cutoff. Now, personally, I actually don't drink caffeine at all. I have done in the past, and I probably will in the future. But right now, I am on the 0 caffeine kick. I'm not saying you have to give it up. I appreciate a lot of people are very dependent on it, but just make sure that you're not having it after 12 p.m., after midday. That's because caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours, depending on the intensity, let's say, of the coffee that you're having. And this blocks adenosine, which then delays the deep sleep. So a very quick, practical, and tactical tip that you can implement today is to switch your caffeinated coffee for decaf. Trust me, I did this myself when I was weaning myself off the caffeine, and honestly, after about a month or so, I realized I don't even need this. Next up is your nutrition. 80 to 90% of the time, you want to be eating whole, nutrient-dense foods that aren't processed. The processed food doesn't just affect digestion, it also affects your recovery. And then number 3, and maybe the most important of them all, is to factor in a decompression walk at the end of your working day. So it goes a little bit like this. Whenever you finish work, whatever time it may be, get outside, away from the computer for at least 30 minutes. Change your environment, catch your breath, no emails, no social media. You just want a podcast, an audiobook, or even some music if that helps you. Not only is this going to help you to burn some energy, some calories, but it also helps you to reset. And it does this by activating a part of your nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, this is the part of the autonomic nervous system that's linked with rest and digestion. Throughout the day, when you're living things on the edge and making emotionally charged decisions and you're stressed out and you're dealing with the kids and the boss and all the other chaos, you are in fight or flight mode. You need something, some kind of trigger to take you out of that and put you into the rest and digest mode. And again, in my personal experience, the best and the fastest way to do that is to get yourself outside and go on a decompression walk. Once you've done that, you're ready for your wind down routine. So this is something that I start to implement about 3 hours before I'm planning on going to bed. And by the way, if you need help figuring out your bedtime, just reverse engineer it back from the time you want to wake up. So if you are going to start work at 9, you can pretty much copy me and get up at 6. That gives you 3 whole hours to get up, do your morning routine, get a lift in, commute, do whatever you have to do and get to work ready to start at 9 a.m. Of course, if you have the luxury of starting later, you can wake up later. If you have to get up earlier, then sod's law, you have to get up earlier. Trust me, I spent 2 years getting up at 5 a.m. because I had to be on a train to London for an hour every single day during the week to start at 9. So again, if this is your priority, you just have to factor this in. But yeah, your wind down routine needs to start about 3 hours before you're planning on going to sleep. Not to bed, to sleep. And the best way to look at this is using something called the 3-2-1 rule. You might have heard of other people talking about this. You might have heard of me talking about it in my previous videos, but it's very powerful. So let me quickly repeat it. Essentially, what you want to do is stop eating 3 hours before bed, because eating is a metabolic process, and any metabolic process is one that raises your heart rate. And again, to get that deep sleep, we want a resting heart rate. And then 2 hours before bed, although you may want to bring this one forward as well, depending on how old you are. You want to stop drinking anything. I mean, you want to have already stopped drinking your caffeine at midday, but I'm talking about water or sodas or anything else that you're drinking. And that's for obvious reasons, just to stop you waking up in the night and disturbing that deep sleep. And then an hour, or at the very least 30 minutes before you go to sleep, you want to be trying to come off your phone. So this is where I will put my phone on airplane mode, because then I'm essentially just turning it into an expensive alarm clock. Instead, I will listen to a podcast, maybe watch some YouTube, but on very low light on my MacBook. And the whole time throughout these 3 hours, I'm wearing, I should have got them, my blue light blockers. You can pick these up on Amazon. I mean, truth be told, you can pick up super cheap ones for like 20 bucks. I wouldn't go hunting in the bargain buckets. Personally, I would spend 75 or 100 bucks if you can afford it. Get yourself a good pair, because the return on investment of these is going to be amazing, and you're going to use them every single day. So over the course of just 1 year, 365 days, it's going to cost you pennies. Over the course of the 5, maybe 10 years that they're going to last, it's literally fractions of pennies per day it's going to cost. And think of the incremental gains and the compound benefit that you're going to get just from wearing these glasses for 3 hours a night. No one's going to see you apart from your partner maybe, and if they judge you for it, then they're probably not the person for you. And then the only other thing that I would add in, and this isn't a silver bullet, please don't think you can do this one thing and everything else is going to get fixed, is I would take magnesium L-threonate. I, at the moment, am using a company called Momentous. I'm not sponsored by them. They are not affiliated with this video. I do not earn anything by talking about them. I am just telling you exactly what I do. They are an American company. So unfortunately, if you're in the UK, it does cost a little bit more to import their stuff. I actually haven't even tried to order a new batch since I've moved back to Spain, and I'm dreading it because I have no idea how much that's going to cost me, because here in Spain, unfortunately, they add import tax on, which the consumer has to pay. I don't know if that's a worldwide thing, but certainly isn't in the UK. And I'm not going to lie, they are on the expensive end, but this stuff works. That being said, you can still get 99% of the benefits through the stuff we've talked about today without taking the magnesium. I just want to be completely transparent and tell you absolutely everything that I'm doing. And then the last piece of the puzzle, but potentially the most important of them all, is your sleep environment. You need your bedroom to be as cold, as dark, as quiet, and as comfortable as possible. So invest in it. Just like the blue light blocking glasses, this is an incredible ROI. You might have to spend 500 or even $1,000 on a new mattress and some nice bedding, on a fan or even aircon, on some shutters and some blackout blinds. But that one-time hit that is going to last you years is going to improve your sleep by up to 50%. And just close your eyes and visualize the compound effect of that over the next few weeks, months, and even years. Sleep is truly one of the highest leverage habits, in that there are so many downstream benefits you get from it, or downstream consequences if you don't pay attention to it. So yes, this can sting, but in my personal opinion, it's well worth it. Now, the absolute gold standard, and unfortunately I'm not at this level yet, but fingers crossed if this video does well, maybe I'll invest in one, is an 8 sleep mattress. Again, I have no affiliation with this company. They are not sponsored. You will not find any links underneath, and I've never even owned one. But just go and check this stuff out. It's insane what they are doing with mattress technology. 2 words I never thought I would say on a YouTube video. And I always think that a product must be good if they offer I think it's a 90-day guarantee, essentially. So if after 90 days you are not fully satisfied that your sleep has improved, you can literally just send it back and make all your money back, or get all your money back. And again, like I say, not affiliated, not sponsored, not promoting them. I'm just saying, for me, that is like aspirational sleep environment goals. So if you're in a position where you can go and afford it now, I strongly encourage you to check that out. And for those of you who have made it to the end of this video, first and foremost, thank you very much for paying attention and listening to me waffle along. But secondly, you guys are clearly the ones who are serious about this. And I'm excited for you, because I cannot stress how powerful and how practical it can be when you implement what we've talked about today. It tripled my testosterone. It fixed my mental health. It helped me build my dream physique, and it supercharged my confidence levels. In short, it changed my life. And now it's changing my clients' lives too. People misunderstand discipline. They look at someone like me who goes to the gym early in the morning 4 or 5 days a week, and they think, gosh, he must be so disciplined. But the truth is, I enjoy getting up early and going to the gym. So for me, that doesn't take discipline. Discipline, by definition, is doing the hard things that you or I don't want to do. And what sleep gives you, above everything, is the drive to not just want to do the hard things, but to look forward to them. The problem is, You don't need more information. I doubt this is the first sleep protocol video that you've watched, and I expect you've heard a lot of what I've said today before. Information is free to everyone now. We all have YouTube and ChatGPT and Google, but knowing what to do is only half the battle. The real difference is in having the accountability from a coach who's been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and can now help you with the implementation. And that's exactly what I do on my elite coaching program. This sleep protocol is just one of the many things that the guy on my programs get access to. My clients get access to a 6-month blueprint that helps them with their diet, their training, their habits, and their sleep. It's everything that they need in one place to be able to destroy their belly fat once and for all and build a body they're proud of, so that they can finally look in the mirror and see a version of themselves that they like, so that they can finally take their top off at the pool when they next go on holiday and feel confident in themselves, so that they can tighten their belt an extra couple of notches. But more valuable than all of that, so that they can have the drive to fulfill their potential, because that ultimately is my mission. I have been on this journey myself. I'm still on it, but the most enlightening and empowering thing for me was realizing that I was capable of so much more than I thought I was. And that comes from doing the work. And you can either pay with time or with money. I paid with time. I took the long route. I was stubborn, like I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. I thought, I don't need a coach. I can do this myself. I'm a man. And yeah, I'm not taking that away from you. But looking back in hindsight, it took me years to accomplish what I could have done in months. And if I have one regret in my life, it's that I didn't invest in a coach, because I just think, how much further along could I be? Ever since then, I've invested in multiple coaches. And honestly, I just think it's the best thing you can do in your life, because you're not just paying for the knowledge, you're paying for the implementation. Anyway, sales pitch over. If you want to find out how it works, why it works, and exactly what you get, click the link in the description. If not, no worries whatsoever. Thank you very much for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.